All right, hey everybody. This is going to be a quick video today regarding keto yet again, because as more and more people have asked me questions and watched the videos, and patients as well, I keep getting some similar questions, which in the beginning, my second video on the biggest questions are once people get involved, but the first question really comes down to what do you eat? Which, again, I've been doing nutrition for 25 years, and sometimes we do take things for granted. For those of you who are not cooks and don't cook, it's a lot harder because people who cook, they know what's in foods. If you cook a cherry pie, that is not fruit. That is an awful lot of sugar and wheat. So that really plays into it. So the point of this is just to give you the basics of what do you really eat. Like now that I'm in an adaptive keto state, I may stay here, I may not. I haven't really decided yet. Right now I feel good. I'm down 30 pounds. Brain works good, energy, everything is good. So what do I eat? I really don't eat much different than I used to. The only nuance is you just eat more fat, and you eat much less carbohydrates. However, I was never someone who felt you need to eat a sandwich, because if you look at a sandwich, the bread plus a protein, they don't digest well anyway. So there's a good argument those don't make sense. Do I miss pasta, noodles? Sure, sometimes. However, once you get in an adaptive state, you can cheat. Which it's not really cheating. You can just eat, you eat food and your body metabolizes to it. So what do I really eat? If you do a Mediterranean diet, if you do paleo diet, if you're familiar with those type diets, you can completely do it with keto. One of the genomics talks that I've done in the past, which I haven't podcasted, but I've done to doctors, was regarding longevity. And when you look at longevity, you know, a Mediterranean diet is the healthiest and longest diet, proven diet, shall we say, of any, as well as with reduced calorie, which if you go into keto, you're going to probably end up in a reduced calorie. So there's a lot of arguments it's very healthy. Now, a Mediterranean diet is pretty much mostly vegetables, vegetarian, with usually some fish. So it's kind of a pescatarian. You can eat a little meat here and there. That's perfectly fine. Use plenty of olive oil. However, you can have a Mediterranean diet where you eat almost zero fat, and it still qualifies as a Mediterranean diet. You could also have a Mediterranean diet where you actually drink 8 ounces of olive oil at a meal, and you technically can still call that a Mediterranean diet. It's what are you choosing to eat? And that's kind of how this works. So ultimately, what can you eat now? What can you eat if you're going to go into keto? You can eat pretty much whatever vegetables you want. You want to be a little careful with your starches, like potatoes, for example. Because a lot of times with rice and grains, people can easily just replace it with potatoes. That's going to be a high glycemic, high carb thing. But ultimately, whatever vegetables you want to eat, you can eat as many as you want, and you just add more oil. It's very, very simple to add more oil. One nuance that's not related to this, you do need a lot more salt, and you need probably a little more minerals too, of magnesium, calcium, selenium, and such. It just is part of how it is. One day, hopefully, we're going to get some more people coming in with their interpretations. But it's a very simple thing once you're in the adaptive state. And that's where people keep getting stuck. And I think I'm going to keep repeating this on the next videos. To get into ketosis is fairly easy unless you're hypoglycemic. Depends on your lifestyle. But to get into it, it's kind of like just a nuance. It's like, hey, I went on a fast this weekend and I went into keto. That's not the goal. The goal is to do it long enough until your body switches. And that's when you can cheat. That's when everything changes. That's when it gets really, really easy to do. My diet now, I eat a lot more olives and avocados than I was prior. There's nothing wrong with that. Fruit-wise, I eat less fruit than I did because now I'm eating those. But otherwise, you know, I still eat proteins and vegetables, and I eat a very variety of diets. I just add a little bit more fat. Another nuance of keto that people don't seem to understand is regarding when do you eat. Well, what do you eat for breakfast? What do you eat for lunch? It's irrelevant. If you're hungry, you eat. If you're not hungry, you don't eat. It's that simple. And again, it might be hard to understand because someone who hasn't ever done this is thinking, well, I'm always hungry at breakfast and I'm always hungry at dinner. Some of that's mental conditioning. A lot of us emotionally eat, it's Sunday, we must have a big meal of brunch, or people have all these cultural things. That's true. However, when you're really into I would argue just a good metabolism, your body's going to tell you what it wants. And there are days I don't eat at all. I'll eat at 3 p.m. or 4 p.m. after a long day of work and walking 6 miles in the morning. I'm just not hungry until 3 or 4 p.m. and I'm hungry. Other days I'll wake up and it's like, man, I want to eat some calories for breakfast. It's completely dependent upon how is your body responding. Part of that's based on when you go into a keto state, it is actually pretty good for blood sugar issues, insulin resistant issues, metabolic syndrome issues, all these things. And so maybe it's just your body's giving you better response. You definitely want to drink more water if you're not a water drinker. But again, it's a very easy thing. So what do you eat? It's not hard to do. There are plenty of choices. I never have choices where I'm like, oh my gosh, I must stay in keto. What can I eat right now? If I go to the grocery store, there are plenty of things to choose. If I go to the farmer's market, there are plenty of things to choose. The bigger thing is just, okay, I need more oil. I've always been someone with, when you get into salt, bone broths are fantastic for us. They're very good. It's a good source of protein, good source of fat. If you get one in the grocery store that's actually a low fat, almost solid protein, which would be kind of paleo, you just add some oil. Or you have a little oil before, you have some olives. It's a really, really simple thing. So I hope if you're watching this, you've either just had this question in your brain as far as, can I really do it and how? Keto is not for everybody. No question about it. There are certain people that keto is going to make you miserable. However, there's a lot of people that think keto is going to make them miserable that actually would do phenomenal with keto. In fact, many of my patients, I think I've said this before, have stated, oh, I tried the Atkins diet, I tried keto in the past. And the reality is they didn't do it right. They never truly got into an adaptive keto state. They made poor choices. They thought, oh, it's a fad. That's not the goal. The goal is you got to track it. And I show that on all my other videos. I didn't even pull up a PowerPoint today because this is off the cuff. But you want to track it in the beginning. You need to track it and understand your body and learn your body. Once you shift, it is so easy. And even to the holidays, we're right now in September. I'm coming up with Thanksgiving. Haven't seen my family in 2-3 years. I'm probably going to eat whatever I want to eat. I just might lather a little more butter and things that I normally wouldn't, because in the past I was thinking about, oh, fat's bad, calories and such. So I hope this helped. And again, it's not for everybody, but it is really good for brain issues. It's very good for weight loss. It's very good for blood sugar imbalances. There are many reasons why you might want to try it. Especially during these very stressful times, because during stressful times, people tend to emotionally eat, and usually we emotionally eat the wrong thing. I joke many times with my patients that I eat pretty clean. I've always eaten pretty clean because I know how to eat. I was brought up eating clean. However, when I drink alcohol, that affects your blood sugar, and then bad choices are made. It's never been a question of, hey, let's order a giant pizza and then have this drink. It's usually I had the drink and then I chose the pizza. Or I had this stress and then I chose the pizza. The pizza doesn't come first. The bad food doesn't come first. The bad food is when your blood sugar's off, you haven't eaten in too long, and your body metabolism's off. That's when those problems are. So I hope this helped, and I wish you all well. Take care. Till next time.